Let's get into our conversation for the next hour and a half, and we'll be talking matters opposition politics, opposition unity, Goonism in Kisii, in Gusii land specifically, and many more matters. We have Kitutu Chache MP, South MP, sorry, that is Antony Kibagendi in studio with us. Good morning, Antony.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's good to have you back.
Yep.
Tunaanzanga na quote of the day, as you know. Felaris will share the quote. Let us know if it speaks to you, if you agree or disagree.
Absolutely, karibu sana. Today's quote is courtesy of Nelson Mandela, and it reads, "After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb."
Yeah.
How does that speak to you?
It is a demonstration that we all face, can I call it, challenges at every stage of life. Sometimes, like when you're jobless, you are seeking an opportunity. And while you're jobless, you think when you get the job, then your life will be easy. You get the job, and then you realize you have to again now probably support your family or get married. Na uchumi Ruto, you know. At every stage of life, there is a hill to climb.
That's true.
Yep.
It's a good one. As we start this conversation, Mheshimiwa, there's a question that we asked ourselves earlier in the morning.
Yes.
So there are some constituencies that have the name Chache.
Yes.
And some that have the name Masaba. 4 have the name Chache. Kitutu Chache North, Kitutu Chache South, Nyaribari Chache, Bomachoge Chache.
Yes. And
then Masaba, there's Kitutu Masaba, Nyaribari Masaba. Is there another Chache?
There's Bomachoge Chache.
Bomachoge Chache, I call that.
Yeah.
Then Kitutu Masaba and Nyaribari Masaba.
Yes.
So you're in Kitutu Chache North. There's Kitutu Chache South. You are South.
I'm South.
There's Kitutu Chache North.
Yes.
Then there's Kitutu Masaba.
Yes.
What is Chache? What is Masaba?
Yeah.
Number one, Kitutu is one of the clans of the Gusii. And Masaba means the upper side. Chache means the lower side.
Okay.
When they were naming Kitutu, Chache North and South, I think the former IEBC that actually split the constituency did not consult widely for them to, because it is, if you look at it, it is Kitutu South.
Yes,
that,
that's what to say,
you know, and the other one is Kitutu South North. Yeah. So it was not properly named, but now we make do with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and then we have
Bomachoge
Borabu. It also means the upper side, or Borabu constituency. It means the upper side, or where there is light. Yeah.
Okay. So upper here could also mean north.
Yes.
And
upper could mean Borabu or Masaba.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're the MP for Kitutu South constituency.
Yeah, Kisii town.
That's Kisii town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
You were therefore one of the hosts of last weekend's Linda Mwananchi.
Yes.
Meeting.
Yeah.
That was taking place in Kisii.
Yeah.
And you know, we have seen what happened here. You know, in as people were heading towards Kisii, then goons attack your procession, and unfortunately Vincent Osiemo Elias Mapinduzi is among those who die.
Yep.
What happened?
First, you know, the culture of Goonism has not been there in Kisii. We have been fairly, I don't want to call it peaceful, but when we have political competition, sometimes there are altercations here and there, but we don't get to what we've gotten to. This culture has been brought and nurtured by none other than Governor Simba Arati. Governor Simba Arati, we all know what he used to do in this city. And that is what he has inculcated in the politics of our region.
You know, as you continue on this,
yes.
Very, very careful of allegations that you make. This is not the house where we'll ask you to substantiate or kick you out.
Yeah.
This where we'll kick you out as well, by the way.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about. We know what he did during the Dagoretti Kibra by-elections and all that. But now, beyond
Kibagendi,
that, and I'm willing to stand in court for this.
Okay.
Yes.
You go and make this allegation elsewhere.
It is not an allegation. This is a fact.
Where you'll go to court.
Yeah.
Let's stick with what happened.
And that
on Saturday.
I'm giving you, it was on Friday. I'm giving you a bit of a history. Now, that culture has been inculcated by the individual I mentioned. And unfortunately, most of us in the region kind of picked it up because we think that is the only way we can survive politically. Now, when on Friday we had the meeting, the four intended meetings, one was deep in my constituency. We had Kikao na Kina Mama na Wajane, where we were raising some funds to support women groups and widows. It was a peaceful event down in Mosocho. Mosocho is at the border of Kisii County and Homa Bay. After that, we came into Kisii town where goons had been organized to try and disrupt our meeting. But of course, we managed to repulse them. Now, on our way to now Nyamira, through Nyaribari Chache, a place called Keumbu, there was an ambush, yeah? Initially, we intended to stop at Keumbu momentarily because it is a busy roadside market. So we thought when we get there, we'll stop there for 10-15 minutes just for the main speakers to get a moment and interact with the electorate. And one of the Linda Mwananchi aspirants, a gentleman called Dr. Birundu, had requested Senator Onyonka that we actually stop there. So that was one of the stops. I'm told the area MP, because a bulk of the people who are unleashing the war were members of his CDF staff, his communications office, and generally the people he walks around with. The photos have been shared online, are the ones who unleashed the attack. And it was, can I call it, an element of surprise. It is something that I'm sorry to say that had people known that this was going to happen in good time, I think there would be a bloodbath, because you realize we have close to 18 members of parliament, each with a bodyguard or two, and numerous other aspirants, licensed gun holders, and even the supporters of these members of parliament. So had we organized ourselves and come in a group, it would have been disastrous. So it is unfortunate that it happened, and one young man lost his life. It is not something we can be proud of. It is becoming increasingly scary for Kenyans, because you realize it is happening literally everywhere we are going. So on this one, we appreciate the efforts being made by the DCI, but we also are uncomfortable with the sluggishness they are demonstrating in actually apprehending the people who organize this, the people who are particularly involved. They've gone for the rats instead of going for the big boys that were actually whose photos were taken and videos were taken while that was happening.
Okay.
Yes.
There were several arrests made.
Yes.
I think it was 7 people.
Yeah.
And just Keumbu is in which constituency?
Nyaribari Chache, my neighboring constituency.
Member of Parliament for Nyaribari Chache has also been summoned to make a statement.
Yes.
By the DCI. When you say they're going for the rats, who have they missed out on?
There's the head of communications in Honorable Zair's office, the CDF chairman, CDF secretary. We saw their photos, and even so, you realize when I had an altercation with some UDA activists one time in a Java restaurant, I was arrested like a terrorist in Nairobi and escorted with numerous vehicles from Nairobi all the way to Kisii. And it was such a small thing, just because I'm in the opposition. He is in government, he's being summoned. I think this is a more serious matter where that kind of arrest should have happened. But because he's in government, he has to be handled with gloves, which is unfortunate. He's my friend. We've been in politics for a long time. But given the situation we are in, I thought it would have been handled a little more aggressively by government, but it is what it is, and you know what is happening in this country. The police officers, actually we have photos of police officers, and we are calling upon the Inspector General. All the police officers at Keumbu police station need to stand in court, need to appear in court. They were part of the people who are throwing stones, and we have a few photos of some of these police officers that were involved in the attack. Yeah.
Have you submitted this to the police? Have you recorded any statements yourself or any other person that seems to know exactly who was behind it?
Yes. Dr. Birundu recorded a statement. And a few other people that were injured have recorded statements. And just beyond that, police officers are supposed to provide security, and they're supposed to take care of people's property, irrespective of their political affiliation. And at this point, just beyond even reporting, they need to step up and take action.
Yourself, have you recorded a statement?
No, I didn't record a statement. Of course, my car was hit. The tail light and one of the windows were shattered. But I had to move because that we went to Keroka, and then the following day I had to be in Bungoma. So I didn't make time for that. But I believe what has been reported is adequate for the officers to take action. Yep.
There's so much going on within, politics right now.
Yeah.
But this culture of Gunism is becoming incredibly dangerous.
It is.
And we're seeing it lead to loss of lives. In this case, it's Vincent Osiemo, also known as Mapinduzi. Who knows how it escalates. Realistically speaking, when goons are hired by politicians, what is the aim? To disrupt a rally is one, but it's becoming so blatant that you have to wonder if there's something else at play, or it's disrupting a rally. And then after you disrupt a rally, what next?
We are in a, can I call it a season that we are getting into the campaign mode. But beyond that, we have a regime that has lost legitimacy, a regime that is detested across the country. So the only thing, or I take it back, when William Ruto was getting elected, he had certain pillars that put him in power. Number one was the ethnic bases, the major ethnic bases. He had Mount Kenya and Rift Valley. And Rift Valley is essentially, mainly, the Kalenjin community and the Agikuyu. Of course, there are a bit of Luyas and Kisis in Rift Valley. Now, he has lost that. Number two, he had the church. He has lost that. With the attacks on the church and all, and church is asking him to be responsible and do what he actually promised. He has lost the church. He had professionals, who helped him put together his manifesto and all. He has lost the professionals because of high taxation and lack of, can I call it consultation with professionals. He does things the way he wishes. He has lost the other pillar, who are the hustlers, fairly young people or people of low income earners that he has trained with an functional SHA, heavy taxation on fuel, and on regular household goods, the things we use on a daily basis. He has lost the other pillar of goodwill of the international community. When you mess up with human rights, the international community kind of pulls back. I know we have this unfortunate intimate association with France and of course the US because of their interests. But I can tell you, focus for them is on human rights. He has lost that. So he has lost the things that actually helped him get to power. So the only pillars William Ruto has now and this regime is state violence. I can call it state-sponsored violence and looted funds. Those are the only pillars that William Ruto has now. Now, what does this demonstrate? In a place called Mbeere North, the by-election, UDA lost, but they were declared. And we know what they did in some of those polling stations. Why?
Again,
because
what did they do?
They unleashed goons on the election day. And they did the same in Western. And they intend to do that in the by-election in Olkalau. But I think this time round, the citizens in Olkalau, from the look of things, are well prepared to handle this. So it is a regime.
It's hard if you cannot substantiate that UDA won in Mbeere North, because according to official results,
official results?
Sorry, UDA lost.
Official results is
given by the
IEBC.
IEBC.
Official result is court decision. This matter was taken to court as a petition, and what did the court declare? It upheld the result announced by the IEBC.
Why did the court refuse the opening of the ballot boxes?
I mean, the
For a
court
recount?
has its reasons, right?
Mr. Lawmaker,
Yes.
what do you want us to deal with? Do you want us to deal with the law of the jungle or the law of the land?
The law of the land.
Okay.
Open the ballot boxes, let the people demonstrate
As it stands
the numbers.
as it stands right now, Mr. Lawmaker,
Yes.
well, who is your colleague in Parliament representing Mbeere North? His
The
name is
name
Leo Wamudende.
Wamudende.
Okay.
Yeah.
Declared so
Yeah.
by the official election management body.
Yes.
And affirmed by a court as a result of a petition.
Do you know even a court, once the court decides, you can appeal or decline because they appealed.
Okay.
There's an appeal.
It's ongoing.
Yeah.
As it
You
stands.
know, my brother, you need to know, nowadays, elections, it is not just IEBC who has the results. Even members of the public and candidates have their own tallying mechanisms. So I can tell you, Mbeere North, beyond aggressive state projects to turn around the tide, it was rigged.
You know, let me help you here.
Even Malava was rigged.
Let me help you. I know what you're saying.
Yes.
All right? I
Yes.
know what you're saying.
Yes.
And it's a feeling that's held by many.
Yes.
All right? So what you're saying is, in your feeling,
It is not my feeling.
Roger,
Yes.
what you're saying is, in your feeling, and in many other people's feelings, UDA lost the people in Mbeere North. Okay? But the UDA candidate was declared the winner. What you're saying is, what we have as declared the winner versus the sentiment on the ground may not match. But let us not, please, let us not. And the reason I'm pushing back on this is because you sit in the National Assembly
Yes.
as an elected leader, sworn to uphold and protect the Constitution and the laws of the land.
And the laws of the
If
land.
the laws of the land say something, there's a very high danger when a leader such as yourself starts becoming a goon to go and declare that even the courts are.
The courts are
There's a danger to that.
You know,
It adds to what we are dealing with as a country today.
I can tell you, while we have enormous trust in courts, we have a few rogue judges and magistrates. That is known. That is public knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we know how the executive has been pushing both parliament and the courts to aid them in getting what they want.
Yeah.
We know this.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the truth of the land. And one time, actually, even in the media, including your newspaper, you wrote about how the judiciary keeps giving the executive what they want. And there are a lot of things that have been given by the judiciary, including the housing levy, that is still unconstitutional. And it went all the way to the top. It is unconstitutional. Housing is a county function. The levy is illegal.
So we should ignore the judgment of
You
the
don't
Supreme
ignore
Court.
that. The truth is, it is illegal.
That's what you're suggesting.
But now,
that's what I'm telling you. Antony.
but now we are moving
I
on.
want us
We are
to
talking
agree-
about Goonism.
I want us to agree on some basic house rules.
Yeah.
When you're expressing something as a sentiment, express it as a sentiment.
I'm expressing.
Do not call a sentiment a fact.
It is a fact. It is a fact.
Aye.
Because it has been appealed and it not yet determined.
Okay.
And the person who was running is my friend. I had a lot of interest there and I know the results as they came out. Yes.
So shall we wait for the Court of Appeal or shall we go with Antony Kibagendi?
For me, I mean, the bit that has appealed. It depends on what you believe in.
Okay.
It's not about belief.
Yeah.
Like I said, there is belief, and I'm okay with you expressing your belief.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
But I'm not okay with you calling belief facts.
Mine is a fact.
Today,
Bere
if-
was rigged.
If an opponent of yours today comes and tells us, you know what, Antony Kibagendi is a thug, he is not the MP for Kitutu Chache South, I shall tell him exactly what I'm telling you.
Great.
Okay?
Great. I'll
be like,
appreciate. I'll
Antony
appreciate.
Kibagendi
And me, I'm
is
telling
the
you.
sitting member of parliament for Kitutu South.
Yes. I agree. But I still stick to this fact. Okay. Yes.
Hold on to
Anyhow,
those facts.
now, what I'm trying to say is...
Just
sorry.
hold on to that
Yes.
fact. We need to take a quick break and then we'll come back and interrogate those facts and also what is your feeling, tuangalie mambo ya opposition
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything in between. This is Fixing the Nation NTV. We'll be right back. Absolutely. We're back in conversation with Antony Kibagendi, who's the member of parliament of Kitutu Chache, South. Yeah, as we've learned today, we've had a very good lesson there. And just looking at matters Goonism and, what is happening, why the political class, there's a lot of finger pointing, but very few are coming out to say who's actually behind it. But outside of saying who's behind it, why are we not seeing people being prosecuted? And I asked you a bit earlier whether you've recorded a statement, and I'm still not satisfied with your approach to it. And I'll tell you this, you have to put your money where your mouth is. If you certainly feel that you have evidence that could allow for the prosecuting authorities to come and crack down on those responsible, then you ought to do the most diligent thing. Amma?
I believe that is what a responsible citizen should do.
Correct.
But like I mentioned to you, my colleagues recorded statements and gave a press conference yesterday, Honorable Barongo and Honorable Gisairo, as well as the aspirants for for Nyaribari Chache, and a few of the victims who lost, who were injured, and those whose cars were hit. And I thought that was adequate, given the kind of schedule that I had over the weekend. Because after the Keroka event, it was late in the evening, about 7 p.m. I was supposed to be in Bungoma by 11 a.m. the following day, so I woke up from Kisii and left for Bungoma. From Bungoma, Eldoret flew to Nairobi, and by the way, it was my birthday, so there was all that that was
And you
happening.
still had a birthday.
Thank you.
Happy
So,
belated birthday.
but in case I'm needed to give any further information, I'll definitely be glad to offer myself. Yes.
The reason why I went back there is, should this happen again, and we keep on hearing the same narrative that we know the people that are responsible for this, another life is lost. The families of the family of, for example, the gentleman that was lost, that is Vincent or CMO, they're not satisfied with such kind of answers. Like, if you know the truth, you might as well help us get some form of closure to those that we've lost.
Yes.
So is to, one, avoid a repeat of the same, but
Yes.
also hold yourself to your people elected you so that you'd be able to do the right thing by them. So should this happen again, are we going to hear you say that you also had a very busy schedule that you'd not be able to go report
No.
to
It
the
is not
authority?
because of the busy schedule. It is because it has been reported by those of us, those we were with in the convoy. It has happened. It happened in Kisumu. It happened in Kakamega. It followed us in Kitengela. They tried it in Mombasa. They have been trying it. It happened in Machakos the other day. So they have been trying to use goons to stop our activities. It is not the first incident, but it is the most ferocious. And what we are saying, this has to come to an end. Yes.
When you're planning for this, I'm just very curious. When you're planning to go have a rally, in a town.
Yeah.
There's certain protocols that you have to follow while planning.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in how you coordinate with the authorities
Yes.
for those areas and what sort of intelligence you have, because a lot of times we've had this from Sifuna, who says that we knew ahead of us landing in Kisumu that there was coordination for there to be violence. There's intel that comes, there's preemptive intel that comes to you, and then there's what happens on the ground. And how do we prevent this from happening, given that you already have the intel that somebody is waiting for you? How do we stop it? And I'm asking this as we look ahead to 2027, that these things don't happen by accident, you know.
Thank you. We actually get information on most of these intended attacks. Like now in Kisii, initially, there was some leader there organized border riders, about 3,000-4,000 of them, and took them to a place called the Agricultural Training Center, where they were supposed to be armed and organized to come and attack the rally in Kisii. But because we preempted and we were, can I say, organized to repulse them, they didn't attack us. And later in that evening, actually the border riders were given 500 shillings each, and they came out insulting that leader because he didn't give them what he had promised. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Keumbu attack, initially, sincerely speaking, we didn't expect any form of attack, because when we were coming down from Nairobi, when I was going down on Wednesday, and most of those traders there know me. So they told me, you have to stop here. You have not put Keumbu as one of the stops. Mm-hmm. We will stop you. We will ensure you stop here. Mm-hmm. So that is why we included Keumbu as one of the stops. Mm-hmm. But while we were in Kisii town, we got wind of the possible attack. But we said it is if we stop to address. Mm-hmm. And it is at that point that Senator Sifuna suggested that because we don't have much time, we had taken a lot of time in the convoy between Mosocho and Kisii town, and in Kisii town a lot of us addressed the rally, so we were getting late in Keroka. So we said we can pass Keumbu if there is if they are organized, there is a possibility of being attacked. Mm-hmm. But now, even when we decided that we are not stopping there, they decided to attack motor vehicles, and that is how it happened. So we usually get wind. The problem here is this: the police know everything about this. That is why you saw the goons in Keumbu were working hand in hand with police officers. The police officers who are supposed to provide security. And the organizing of all this was done in the CDF office. The CDF office is next to the police station. Next, adjacent. Actually, CDF office took part of their land and built a police station.
So if you look at all these things and all the happenings and everything, that from your experience, you usually have word that this could happen, then you also organize your own countermeasures of preventing this from happening or forestalling it and so on and so forth. It appears like it's just commonplace. I mean, you all know the likelihood of goons being organized and who is likely to organize them and who the goon leaders and the mobilizers are likely to be. I mean, so it's something that's politicians know, and it's been said by even the top political leaders in the country that politicians know who the goons are. Politicians are in control of the goons at any one given time. If it's either going to be politician A who has the goons today, or B who has the goons tomorrow. How do we deal with this once and for all?
The only way to deal with this
is by dealing away with
is to fix this country. Fixing this country is getting this regime out of power. That is the only way we can deal with this, because this is a fearful regime. This is a weak regime in terms of grounding. And it is a regime that is going to crash this country if we continue giving them an opportunity to rule us. They do not care what happens so long as they're in power.
Is this the first regime that
it is not the first regime,
like
but
that?
It is too extreme. Yeah.
So this
when Matiang'i was the interior CS, we know such activities would not happen. Probably violence unleashed by police officers, you would say they are police officers. But when people actually stop traffic on Thika Road one of the busiest roads, and steal from motorists for a few minutes. And we have one of the barracks there, one of the training centers for police officers is along that route. NYS is on that route. What does that tell you? When people can blatantly walk into a restaurant in the leafy suburbs of this city in Westlands, Madenge Road, General Madenge Road, and harass people in a restaurant, what does that tell you? When goons can decide to attack members of parliament doing their politics down in the rural parts of this country, aided by police officers, what does that tell you? It is a failed system. It is not just Keumbu. It is a failed system. From the CS, the PS, the IG, particularly the IG, he should be independent. Taking instructions from the executive is unfortunate. And we all know the kind of utterances that come from the said people. Yeah? I have tremendous respect for particularly PS Omolo. But on this one, we are losing it. And when we were in Kisumu, you remember, Honorable Babu Owino said it is PS Omolo that organized goons down there, the person who should actually be providing security. And he was very consistent in saying the PS has organized goons. So we need, and some of them have been taking photos.
Is it a failed system if the system is organizing it? Is it a failed system, or is it a system that's being managed to unleash violence?
It is
or to allow violence.
All that means the system has failed, because the system should provide adequate security to the citizens and property. Yeah. So the system has failed. If you look at what they do, like now in this city, we know goons get organized by those in power in this city. They attack people. They attack business premises. They go to churches and unleash war. Yesterday, goons were organized to attack the opposition leaders in Mwiki. Yeah. And guess what? It is not police officers who repulse them. It is the citizens who organize themselves and push them back. Yeah. And there are places in this city, you see, a PS with adequate security attends an official function deep in Eastlands, and goons harass him. So he has to come up with an idea. Hey guys, allow me to go. I'll give it to, who can I give this facilitation to? We are giving it to so and so. You let him get in the car, and then they shoot the gentleman in the car. You know, we have problems in this country, and we need to change this culture. And this culture can only be transformed if we do away with this regime. The problem is the regime. And in Luo, they say, fish rots from the head. Yeah, and it is not just in Luo. That is a
universal
general.
Saying.
It is universal saying.
Let me ask something about the money just before, because I want to move to matters United Opposition. Yeah. But just before that, you're very much aware of how these goons are recruited, paid, everything. Start with the basics. How much per goon per day? No,
I haven't.
It's a very good question. He mentioned 500 shillings.
What's the going rate?
3,000 to 4,000 boda riders is a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah, rate card ningapi. To the best of your knowledge, it's not saying that you have hired goons.
Okay.
But to the best of your knowledge, what does the structure look like? Is there like chief goon who then cascades down and recruits from there? Is there a going rate per day? And then how is this funded?
You know, goons vary. There are hecklers. There are people who just come to just ensure Kibagendi does not talk in this event. Or even if he speaks, we have to demonstrate that he's not liked in this area. He's not popular. You know, there are those ones. And at a funeral, at a church function, you know. And then there are these goons that are armed. Now, those who heckle can get between 300 to 500 to 1,000. But the ones who are sent to go and attack, it is from 1,000 upwards. Yeah. And if you're using borders, they'll charge you the cost of their business for the day, and now the the work they've come to do. Yeah, I'm not saying I've hired them, but I know and I've heard from people how the rates. But again, Honorable Rigathi once gave a rate card for government operatives, where he said to clap, you get 1,000 bob. To clap and laugh, you get 1,500. You know,
to cheer.
If you do both,
if you do all that, there's a, and then for boda it is 5,000. Yeah. So in Mount Kenya, the rates are different.
Yeah,
when the president goes there and state operatives, the rates are a little different.
So politicians are in control of this, Kibagendi. I mean, like you've said, like we saw and we had it in the news. Over the weekend again, there was scuffles in Likoni.
Yeah.
You know, people from opposing camps, those that are allied to the nominated senator, Miraj Abdullahi, and those that are allied to the current MP, Mishiboko, clashing. All right? So politicians across the country know how to mobilize like that. Come in and show that I am the one, mimi ndio kusema hapa, by disrupting the other guys.
Yes.
Or even causing violence, or making sure that these people don't speak, or making sure that they don't have time of day. This has been happening for many years, and it's getting to a point where now, just
beyond heckling,
heckling is just
violent.
too common.
Yeah.
So now violence has to be the thing that we are measuring ourselves with.
Yeah.
We are going back to those years, thousands of years ago, where kings had to be the most violent. I must be the most violent person to become the king. And to maintain my kingdom, I have to continue killing guys or subduing people to either conform to me or I wipe them out. That's what we are doing now.
Yes.
For us to fix this country, like you've said, I agree, it is to change the regime.
The entire regime.
Regime is not just those in office of the executive. It is all of you lot. All of you. Those in parliament, those in the executive, from the president all the way down to member of parliament. Each one of you needs to go. We have to clean this plate and start on a clean slate.
Yeah. I agree.
With people like Falaris and Mariam, who do not have this culture of goonism.
If they can take it out.
It's people like you who have, interacted with goonism in one way or another.
No, I'm a gentleman.
We'll have a tendency. We'll have a tendency to go into goonism.
Now, goonism has to be dealt with. Indeed, this culturalization has to stop. The organizing and all this. But can I tell you something? We are slowly getting into into a banana republic. There is a survey that has been done about crime across the world, and Kenya has been rising in terms of criminal activities since the year 2022. Yeah, that demonstrates that it is the regime that has failed. And if you say, indeed, you know why I was suspended from parliament? Do you know why?
For speaking.
Yeah.
Speaking. What did I say?
Outside parliament.
No.
And saying parliament has been captured.
Captured. Auctioned, actually. Was it auctioned or captured?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should demonstrate to you that indeed we have a problem across, like you have said, not just the executive, but everywhere. Yeah. And even there are civil servants that are involved in this. Yeah. The few that are in the looting cabals with those in power. Yeah, although most of the civil servants don't want anything to do with this regime. But I believe we've taken a bit of time on this. Ask me questions about the opposition.
You decide that we move on.
Okay, let's
you've really pushed me.
We agree with you that let's move on. How do we remove all of you from office?
By using the media to expose the rot, both in parliament and in the executive. Because it is the media that can speak to the masses. Using the media to expose the rot. And unfortunately, part of the media has been sucked into the regime, and they're aiding the regime to propagate propaganda, to propagate their lies, to propagate, all this. Yeah?
Let me ask you.
Yes.
Because, Kibagendi, you're a youthful leader. I mean, you have risen and now you're a member of parliament.
Yes.
And let's give you the benefit of the doubt for purposes of this conversation and say you're one of the clean leaders that we have in this country. Are there rotten apples in the opposition?
Of course. Of course. You know, even Kibagendi...
Are you comfortable working with them in the opposition?
Focus for us now, you know, if you take a bucket of water, dirty water, yeah, and you put it under a tap that has clean running water, you allow the water to run. Over time, that water will become clean. You get? So there is absolutely no way you can slice off history and start from a clean slate, unless it is an extreme violent revolution. The Gen Zs gave us a scare in 2024 during the revolution of June 25th. Yeah? But we can demonstrate that in the ballot. We can do that in the ballot. If Kenyans decide that, hey, we will not be bought. If Kenyans decide that, hey, we will not be intimidated with violence. If Kenyans decide that we will not be lured into associating, even if it's with the opposition, purely because of the resentments we have towards government. You know, one thing that the opposition, including ourselves in Linda Mwananchi, has had an advantage is Kenyans have extreme resentment towards this regime. Yeah? It is not that it is the politicians that have incited the masses. The masses are sincerely tired with this regime. So they associate with whoever can help them remove this regime. Yeah, I was telling His Excellency Fred Matiang'i the other day that if you get elected, I want to assure you, you'll be a one-term president. And I told Sifuna the same the other day. Why? We have messed up this country so bad that whoever takes over can only do so much. Because what this regime has done, they've borrowed from the future. So when this regime is kicked out and another government comes, they'll not have resources to actually do any major transformation. You see? And I believe we will have, I was talking to another friend called Cyprian Nyamwamu, and he was telling me it will take 2 or 3 one-term presidents for us to stabilize. Yeah? So that we can have someone who has urgent and practical solutions to the very basic things. You don't have to complicate things. NHIF was working. They needed to just fix what we call the claims department, where there was a bit of fraud. But for them to make money, they had to bring SHA, buy a system for 104 billion, a system that hardly works.
You know, before you even go on, what you just said about this regime borrowing from the future and the next person coming in and they'll find their hands are essentially tied. That's exactly what President Ruto came in saying. He said, I found empty coffers. Rigathi Gachagua said there was nothing. There was nothing. Nothing. So essentially, is it then a fault of the regime, or is it that their hands are tied?
There's a difference between being in debt and borrow aggressively. You know, what this regime has done, you see the levy, the fuel levy, they've borrowed against the fuel levy in future. So in the future, we'll not have money for maintenance of roads. We will not have.
That's it's a concept of debt.
Yeah. Now, they don't call it debt, by the way. They don't call it debt. They don't call it debt.
Yeah.
They are calling it securitization. And many other can I call it sources of revenue for governments to actually...
so back to my question.
Yes.
There are rotten apples, you say, in the opposition, but you believe that with the clean water, if we wash them mwosho moja, mwosho ngapi?
Si mwosho moja, ni mwosho several.
Over time, we can clean those.
3 washes.
Those rotten apples can become clean.
Yeah, over time.
So you're comfortable working with the bad apples in the opposition because you have this hope and belief that we're going to clean it.
There's no comfort. It is just what I can call an alignment of thoughts, an alignment of interests.
Your enemy
in terms of
my enemy. The enemy of my enemy is
my friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
It's just an alignment.
And that is why like I said, it takes time. You don't clean at once. It will take several elections to totally clean. Even the US, 250 something years, they were at a place like this at some point, but they've been cleaning over time, and now they are here. They are where they are,
creating more problems in the process. We also have to acknowledge that it's not a complete clean.
It is not a complete clean.
We have to take a break,
yes.
But we'll be right back. Just looking at the feedback from some of our fixers as we continue threading on what's currently happening in the opposition outfit. This is Fixing the Nation and TV.
This is some positive news.
It is.
Yes.
And we have so many of such in our country that sometimes you are like, such a country of so many big wins. And then such a country of so many losers. Yeah. No, such few losers.
Who are messing up.
Who are messing all of us up. And back to a conversation with Antony Kibagendi, the MP for Kitutu Chache.
South.
Kitutu South.
Looking at some of the feedback we are getting from our fixers online, we have Charles Ndongo who's saying on political goons, stroke criminals, why do we see attacks on opposition only if these are not government manufactured? Why do they have police protection? What happened in Westlands yesterday is going to be normal. Apart kuna John Dungu Muhindi saying goons. Yes, goons. Jeremy Mutuma, as long as goon services are needed by politicians, ending goonism will be no longer at ease. Which is very true. Charles Ndungu going on to say, Eric the MP has said it is his opinion, not that of NTV, and will go to court for it. He's stating it because he's on Fixing the Nation and names have to be mentioned for the truth to be exposed. Stephen Okech, a person who sells eggs should not start a fight at the market. Leaders should be mindful of what they speak. They dare their opponents, then cry foul play when served hot. Baba Three Girls, Kusema Pale Hai, Cousin Kibagendi. Davuri, you can't benchmark away of the... This is... Did I just lose that comment?
Imepotea.
Ni kama imepotea hapo.
Davuri.
Imeenda tu pap. But we have Charles Ndongo saying anyone who still thinks that we are far behind, far from being Haiti, needs a rethink. We are already there. The sporadic raids in public places are just a prelude of the main one and is coming soon, which is quite sad. Tunamba hapa tuko na goons kwa studio. I think he's referring to the picture ilikuwa hapa background. Sophie Mugure saying, Honorable Kibagendi, I respect you, but quit the scarcity mentality. Kenya is not devoid of good leaders. Kanu orphans must go. The Kikombe, if with such rhetoric the gentleman is who we want to lead, quote unquote, and be in parliament, then the river has announced the flood to the village before it arrives to sweep it out. Donge. Davuri, we need an overhaul. The idea that the former regime is the problem is the problem. We don't need infrastructure as desperately as we need accountability. That alone would save us a fortune. And we'll continue looking at some of the comments coming in from our fixers as we carry on with the conversation on the opposition outfit.
Let's talk about now opposition unity, right? And the quest for a single opposition candidate is a conversation that has been associated with opposition leaders for a while. Now, core principles of the United Opposition, Martha Karua and Justin Muturi, have publicly expressed reservation over the coalition's approach a day after the DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua proposed delaying the announcement of the flag bearer until 3 months to the election. Okay? Now, these emerging divisions are quite big. We're going to hear from Justin Muturi, who was speaking in Kamulu. We're also going to hear from Martha Karua, from Kalonzo Musyoka, the party leader of Wiper. Of course, Muturi is the party leader of DP. Karua is the party leader of PLP. And we will hear from the Jubilee deputy party leader, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, and the party leader of DAPK, Eugene Wamalwa, who are all the opposition, leaders, on what they think and say about opposition unity and the identification and fronting of a single candidate. Listen to them.
We don't have a candidate, ati a presidential candidate, ati kwa sababu tunaogopa, ati tukitaja, ati iko kitu William Ruto tamfanyia. Hajui Kalonzo, hajui Eugene, hajui Matiang'i, hanijui, hajui Rigiji, hajui Martha. What can he do?
We can name our candidates as late as 15th of May. That is the deadline ya kupeana presidential candidate. Wewe Kasongo, tuliza boli. Will not give you the advantage of dividing us. We will not give you the opportunity to intimidate our flag bearer.
Coalition making and coalition building is never an easy task. That I can tell you. And so when we do these things the way we will choose to do them, please give us that time, because we know the only card President William Ruto wants to play is to divide this team.
Mimi nitamsupport, nitamunga mkono ndugu yangu Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka kuwa mgombea uchaguzi wa kiti cha urais.
Hatujafanya the rules, the structures for announcing. So even if they is saying they are announcing, it is not for the united opposition, it's for them only.
This country imeanza kuchukua mambo ya goons kuwa ni mambo ya kawaida. Wale goons ambao mumeona Keumbu, mkiangalia picha ile vizuri, vile Mheshimiwa Matiang'i amesema, goons wako pamoja na polisi.
So this is it. So the opposition leaders are saying, they're like, we have time, we're going to do it our own way. Rigiji saying, we have until March. Yeah. I mean, Constitution, May. We have until that time. We can do it. And they say that May is when we'll present our nomination papers to the IEBC. So we have all this time. But then, now we have the Linda Mwananchi group, which has not been mentioned here, right? And Antony Kibagendi is among the leading lights in Linda Mwananchi.
Yes.
During the Friday on weekend rallies, Edwin Sifuna finally said, has not formally declared, but he has said, well, mimi niko kwa hii rally, pia hii maneno.
Yeah.
Where you sit, Kibagendi, as a young political strategist and a leader, should the opposition name its candidate early or should it wait?
One, I want to just touch in 10 seconds. The challenge of goonism can only be solved with jobs. William Ruto promised a lot of jobs. He has delivered less than 10% of the jobs he promised. He keeps unleashing numbers on the jobs they've created, but the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics gives us the real numbers that have been created. So the greatest challenge is joblessness. Now, on to the opposition. First, in terms of naming the opposition leader, a leader needs to emerge. That is the first thing. Yeah? We need one of these people to step up and take over the country. Yeah? And take over leadership. You don't have to wait for somebody to name you. That is why Raila, over time, used to emerge and take over the mantle of the opposition candidate. Yeah? So, I don't understand why Kalonzo Musyoka or Fred Matiang'i or Edwin Sifuna or whoever should sit and wait to be named as the candidate. They need to step up, go out there and influence the voters. And you need to know, power today is in the art of communication. Rigathi Gachagua communicates very well. Yeah? Unfortunately, he is demonstrated that he wants to support someone else. Yeah? How I wish everybody else can be that kind of communicator. There's a difference here. Kalonzo has been in politics for a long time. Matiang'i is here for a very short time. Yeah? So we do not expect Matiang'i to campaign or communicate the same way Rigiji communicates. If you look at Matiang'i, he says this regime has messed up the education sector. The regime, this administration is messing up with security. While Rigiji says, wewe Kasongo, wewe Kasongo, tuliza boli. You see, the communication actually matters. That is one. Number two, the opposition has not demonstrated an attractive vehicle, single vehicle, for citizens to rally behind. Now, in terms of political party, everybody is trying to manage their kiosk. Yeah? Matiang'i has Jubilee, Rigiji has DCP, Kalonzo is stuck to Wiper, like that. Now, what is happening in the opposition is resentment by citizens is what is actually keeping the opposition afloat. Resentment by the citizens. And then there was a part of this, what I can call a generation of Gen Zs and millennials that were not very convinced at a certain point by the united opposition. And that is where we realized there is a group here that is saying, then if this group doesn't seem to show, they don't seem to understand what we actually want. And they were like, do we really need to change? Yeah. And that is when Sifuna emerged. So Sifuna has brought about 3 aspects. Number 1, he has pulled the Gen Zs, pulled the millennials, pulled the Nairobi voter, and he's uniting Western Kenya. That has really helped the opposition in terms of numbers and some of the demographics that they would have lost. Yeah. Now, what we need is a quick retreat by the opposition to organize themselves so that they begin showing unity, actual unity. But in terms of presenting a candidate, we need to wait not up to May, but at least someone should emerge in the next 2-3 months. Kenyans should be able to tell, hey, I think Matiang'i actually fits the bill. Yeah. For me, what I like about most people, sometimes I fear talking about Matiang'i because we come from the same community, but because of what he did as a CS for education, as a CS for interior, CS for communication. By the way, we call him Mr. Fix-It. I don't know who stole the fix from the other, but we call him Mr. Fix-It. He is the person who is my ideal candidate. Number 2, I'm saying Sifuna has to be in that mix. Why? Because he carries the aspirations of young people and he understands what young people want actualized in the next government.
So ticket yako ni Matiang'i Sifuna?
How I wish it can happen like that.
Sifuna Matiang'i or Matiang'i Sifuna?
Sifuna, Matiang'i Sifuna.
Matiang'i Sifuna.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of various other factors.
The fixing side.
The fixing side, that like I've demonstrated, side. Matiang'i has demonstrated what we have seen in the past. Everybody in this country knows Matiang'i is a fixer. You actually know that. You know that.
Yeah? I don't know. Edwin
Sifuna is a fixer as well. He organized ODM very well.
In one of these rallies of this past weekend, he spoke about his willingness. Because the last time we hosted him here, we asked him, Kenyans are saying, Sisi ndio Sifuna and we want you to be our candidate. And he said, I cannot say that. I cannot say it. I need to hear a lot more from the people and I need to know who are these Sifunas, right? So I think finally he has gauged, he has done some poll and he has found out who the Sifunas are. This is what he said over the weekend.
Sisi Biblia inatuambia Mungu ataturejeshea miaka yote ambaye ililiwa na nzige. Hawa wananchi hawa ndio wenye kupayana title zote. Hata mimi kule ODM wanafikiria wakininyang'anya katibu mkuu, wakifikiria wakinitoa kama naibu kiranja wa chama ama wa wale walio Chache kwenye Senate, wanafikiria hamutanirudishia. Nyinyi ndio wenye kupeana. Saa hii nasikia mnasema mnataka kunipea kiti ingine. Mumeamua? Mumeamua? Mimi nawaamini kwa sababu hiyo viti yote ni nyinyi mnapeana.
Very clever of Sifuna there.
Very
hajasema kitu yoyote hapo by the way. Hajasema na hakuna kile ambacho hajasema.
And I want to say something before we continue. While we were watching Sifuna say something on TV, your faces were glowing. You were all smiling and looking at someone you think should be in that ticket. I can tell you that is what everyone feels.
No, I'll tell you what I was smiling at. Is I was remembering what you were saying about the oratory skills. Right?
Yes.
And Sifuna has that.
Yeah.
Sifuna has a way of communicating with the people, of communicating with the masses. Now, should that be a reason why somebody feels that he should be a candidate? I think it just adds into one of like 15 other points.
Yes,
right?
But he has demonstrated.
How many does this have?
Like I said, the power today is in the art of communication. That is one, to acquire power. Number 2 is in the promise. Again, number 2, in terms of the opposition, which I belong in, we need to have an appealing destination. and an appealing message to the people. And some of the things that I've heard Matiang'i talk about is how he will fix the education sector. I've heard Sifuna talk about how the security sector needs to be fixed. I've heard Kalonzo Musyoka talk about cohesion and weaving this country together. Those are some of the messages that need to be harnessed, that need to be weaved together to come up with a compelling message that will unite all Kenyans behind these people. And you need to know, we cannot coalesce around tribes. We have to try and coalesce around ideas and sell for hope in the future. One thing I need to mention to you is that one of the greatest challenges we face in this country is that politicians are still stuck in the past, most politicians. And it is a little different from particularly two individuals in this formation. I keep mentioning them. Matiang'i comes from a small community, but he has a national support, yeah? Sifuna is from Western Kenya. Most of the leaders that have emerged from Western Kenya, if you look at Kijana Wamalwa, he was confined to Bungoma and Trans Nzoia. We have Musalia Mudavadi.
He was vice president.
Confined to their support base. He was confined to, let's say, Vihiga County. We have Wetangula confined to Bungoma. Yeah. Now, Sifuna has emerged and he has support across the country. Actually, where we are going almost in terms of our schedule, where everybody else should have started from, he should have started from Bungoma or Vihiga or Kakamega. Instead, we've gone round. It is now that we are making an effort to go to Bungoma. The same with Matiang'i, in the sense that Kisii has close to 1.5 to 2 million votes. But if you look at the polling, he is among the top, demonstrating to you that it is about the ideas, the work ethic. It is about what they are selling. And that is a demonstration of these are the kind of leaders that we can actually have in this country. Because weaving this country together, for me, is urgent, is important, so that we do away with goonism. We try and deal with tribalism, particularly in the public sector, in what I can call public service commission, where tribalism is so rife.
Okay, let me ask intrusive thoughts. I'll just ask it straight up. United Opposition / Linda Mwananchi / anyone who is part of this opposition outfit. Who are the leaks, the spies, the ticking time bombs of the opposition?
You know, at this point I cannot tell. Because all of us are pushing towards the same direction. And the same direction is to redeem our country. Redeeming our country is to ensure this regime is sent home. But there's one thing I want to tell you. It is not very popular, even amongst the opposition. You've had every opposition leader, including Sifuna, Matiang'i, Kalonzo, Rigiji, saying that if we don't unite, William Ruto atapita katikati. But I want to tell you this. I had mentioned to you, politicians are thinking tribes. Yeah? But I want to tell you, there are new emerging voting blocks. One of the blocks that has emerged are people with a pay slip, including yourselves, and I know who you will not vote for. Yeah? That voting block is about 3 million people. And then there's the block that has come up called the Gen Zs. Yeah? Those two blocks can ensure that the opposition, even if it's split, they will push the voters into one direction. Yeah? Whereby, wewe ukiwa Matiang'i, kwa opposition may agree, tunapatia, let's say, Rigathi Gachagua, and then you pull out, your voters can decide to go, your supporters to go with whoever the opposition has agreed upon. You understand? So opposition leaders need to know we have an urgent desire as a country to change this regime. That is one. Number two, if let's say the opposition leaders split, we have a Matiang'i candidate, Kalonzo candidate, William Ruto candidate. I still want to tell you, William Ruto will not win. The only thing that will happen is that we will not have a winner in the first round. Whoever will be supported by Mount Kenya will be number 1. But they will not have 50% plus 1. So what William Ruto wants to do is to purchase people from the opposition to his side. And what we have managed to do, particularly as Linda Mwananchi, is to create a wave in people's minds that whoever steps out of this formation ni msaliti. So wewe utaenda peke yako,
Utuache sisi
kama Eric
wengine.
Latif aende peke yake, sisi tubaki.
How much would be enough for you?
Enough in terms of votes?
No. In terms of money.
Or purchase?
Yeah.
Wamejaribu kutuita sisi Linda Mwananchi.
Wamefikisha ngapi so far?
Number 1, let me tell you how William Ruto,
wamefikisha
let me tell
ngapi?
you how he purchases people. Number 1, MPs, first he'll tell you, I'm giving you this project and things you've been pushing in government for them to do.
Right.
Now they'll use that as a bait. We'll give you this project ndio ufanye nini? Uvuke. That is number 1. Number 2, they'll offer money. Yeah, the money you see them throwing around over the weekends, from 100 million, 200 million, and all that. Yeah, but you look at it this way. Hiyo ni yako ya mfuko. Kuna mamjengo, kila mtu ako na ka project kamekwama mahali. So unaangalia pesa, unasema, you know, unajua pesa ya Ruto huwezi chukua na uruke. So unainua mkono na una focus on the bigger picture. And now I'm telling you, let's say you ushike pesa. 200 million.
So sahi wamefikisha ngapi?
Tuseme 200 million.
200,
yeah?
Okay.
Ushike 200 million. My friend, you will not be re-elected. You will, like now for my community, anybody who betrays Fred Okengo Matiang'i, I'm telling you, now has messed up himself and his children. Because this will run into generations. There is no time our community has had a leader who has united us this much. Yeah.
So this is a big time for them.
It is a big time for them. And they are saying, irrespective of what happens, let us stick behind one of our own. And they give examples. They say, Wetangula with 300, 400,000 votes in Bungoma, yeah, he is number 3 in government. And he has gotten all these, I've seen in one of the dailies here, where is the...
We don't have
No, there's that one.
But yeah.
Yeah. You've seen, yeah? They're saying, Mudavadi with a single, one of the smallest counties in Kenya, Vihiga, is a prime cabinet and is able to push. And unfortunately, like you said, Kenyans believe that when we have one of our own at the top, that is when we can get jobs, that is when we can get development. Yeah. So that is the belief of our voters in the region.
So as we conclude,
and even
clearly
in Western,
just by going by what you're saying, leaders from Kisii are right now caught between a very hard rock and a very tough place.
Yes.
Because you jump and betray, you jump from the Matiang'i camp and go to the other side, you're basically betraying. So the price must be higher.
Yes.
It can't just be 200 million.
200 million is big, is enough for, according to William Ruto, but we are saying,
but
I just gave you an example.
So, and then also,
lazima afanye nini?
200 million, the price is too high.
And they do that plus projects.
Africa have a B. Higher. Ukambani, of course, I expect the same. You betray Kalonzo at this particular point, finished. So pia hapo Ruto anajua 500 ndio.
And I want to tell you, in Western,
pia tuangalie
in Western, I was there. I was in the function that Sifuna was speaking. I want to tell you today, in Western Kenya, in the next month or so, if you are not with Sifuna, if there is one thing, let me say, the Western nation has seen, that as in we have a young man who can actually become president now or even in future. They are rallying behind this gentleman. Of course, the political class, because of age, and they keep saying he doesn't have money. By the way, do you know what happens with our Linda Mwananchi activities?
Yeah, you are funded by Uhuru, they say.
Can I show you SMSs? This weekend, mimi ndio nilikuwa natumiwa. I was the host. Can I show you the M-Pesa messages?
Please do.
I'll show you when we finish because we have, but I can show you here.
So you do crowdfunding?
We do crowdfunding, but first, from the team, the 18 members.
Okay.
Yeah. I can show you here. Irungu Kangata sent me.
So the organizers.
Look.
Sorry, iko na privacy screen, so I have to really lean.
Akupatie, chukua simu ukae nayo.
Chukua simu uangalie.
Chukua simu ukae nayo. Ujitumie. We have a minute to conclude.
200,000 from Richard Onyonka. You have received 100,000 from Paul Owino. That's Babu Owino. You have received 100 from Patrick Kingola, the incoming governor for Machakos. That is Patrick Makau. You have received 100,000 from Peter Ochola. That is Karoli Omondi's assistant. That is how we fundraise for
500.
Yeah, kuchukua sound system. We had tents. We had all that. I know most people have been saying that we are funded by Uhuru, but that is unfortunate, and it is a weak.
It's unfortunate to be funded by Uhuru.
What is wrong? What is wrong with Uhuru funding us? William Ruto is funding all these movements we are seeing around. So what is wrong with Uhuru funding us? Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, wherever you are, if you can kindly reach out to Linda Mwananchi and sponsor us. This has been going on for too long. But we are calling upon Kenyans now to genuinely start supporting the opposition leaders because they do not swim in the loot we are seeing from the coffers of Kenyans. Support Fred Matiang'i, support Kalonzo Musyoka, support Edwin Sifuna, ndio waweze kutembea Kenya nzima.
Thank you.
Wazungumze na raia.
Final comment here coming from Devuri. Sasa unasema we need to move away from tribal politics, but you also say huko Kisii nobody should betray Matiang'i.
No, I'm saying, I'm not the one who is
declaring.
declaring. I'm saying what the community is saying.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what the community is saying.
Okay.
And it happens, even here in Mount Kenya.
Yes,
if you're not with Rigiji or with Uhuru Kenyatta, it will be very hard to actually get re-elected.
So we are still stuck here.
We are still
for
stuck there for a while. Although
Antony Kibagendi is a member
changing.
of parliament for Kitutu, Chache South, and he's been our guest for the past 1.5 hours. He is in the Linda Mwananchi opposition grouping. In the next half hour into the next hour, we shall be talking to Wanjiru Gekonyo, who is a fighter for the constitution. Ushamaliza Amasa.
Ya mwisho ningetaka kusema hivi. I would like to urge Kenyan young people to refrain from drug and substance abuse. It is becoming a major, it is a menace in our society. And you need to know that keeping off drugs is easier than getting off drugs. Say no to drugs. Thank you.
Great message.